Only panelists are displayed and heard, but we do want to hear from you. Please feel free to ask your questions during the presentation using the Q&A button on your Zoom panel, not in the chat. If it's in the chat, we won't see it. So please use the Q&A panel, and we will get to your questions at the end of the presentation today. And yes, we will share a recording link as well as the slide deck as soon as possible after the presentation today. My name is Raquel Cloyd, and I manage business development here at Intellect. If after today's demo, you feel like you want a more comprehensive demo of this or any of our other applications or our new robust AI integration, you can visit us at intellect.com, or at any point in time, you can enter demo into the Q&A portion, and we will follow up with you after the session today. And I also like to introduce, for those of you who don't know him, Sean Wetherell is our Chief Product Officer here at Intellect. Sean's background includes software development for Fortune 500 companies in a variety of industries. He's worked in healthcare, education, financial services, and regulatory technology. And we'll be hearing from Sean in just a moment. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Intellect. We are an award-winning quality management and environmental health and safety software company. We are built on a no-code platform and powered with a robust AI integration. We help companies to automate quality processes, prepare for audits, and achieve their quality and compliance goals. Those goals include achieving and maintaining compliance with ISO, FDA, GXP, ITAR, OSHA, EPA compliance, and more. There are companies in a lot of industries, med device, aerospace, biotech, automotive, general manufacturing, who rely on Intellect to provide peace of mind and help operations improve profitability, increase customer satisfaction, and increase revenue. And we help you do this with over 30 pre-built quality and environmental health and safety applications that are ready to use out of the box, or you can configure and build out unlimited applications to meet any quality or operational need. All right, Sean, I'll hand it over to you.
Perfect, Raquel, as always, thank you. All right, everybody, if you've ever joined my webinars, you know that we make them quick and high energy, and most importantly, we learn, most importantly. Secondly, we have some fun. So let's do that today. We're going to start off by taking about 5 minutes and level setting on what cost of quality is. Now, many of us come from this world, but we do have some folks joining us from IT and other departments. So I just want to make sure that we have a nice foundation before we hop into our demo. So we'll do our learning objectives. We'll talk about cost of quality, hit up the demo, and with any remaining time, we will do Q&A. If we run out of time, we'll follow up via email. All right, so today, what's cost of quality? Let's go over some examples so that we better understand good versus poor or bad quality, and then we'll get to our demo. So there are 4 main verticals for cost of quality. First one, we have preventative costs. So think of training, process control, suppliers, assessments. Then we have appraisal costs like inspections, audits, calibration and maintenance. And then on the other spectrum of cost of quality, we have internal failures such as scrap or downtime or wasted materials, and external failures. Think of warranties, liabilities, lost sales, etc. And as you can probably infer from this, you can kind of cut it right down the middle, and you've got good quality and poor quality right there. Now, we're trying to find a good balance of about 70% to 30%. So 70% of our cost of quality should really be focused on good quality, which makes sense. That's being more proactive and more preventative. And 30% should be closer, should be the closer mark for that poor quality, right? We don't want to have a bunch of unexpected downtimes or excessive scrap, etc. So we've got the foundation, we've got the pillars here. Let's look at a few examples to add some color. So starting with good quality, well, we look at Toyota Lean, right? If you go to anybody on the street and you say, hey, give me the top 3 quality car brands out there, it's very high probability that Toyota is going to be in that list, right? They are known for their lean manufacturing and their high quality automobiles. Next, Apple. Now I know I'm not an Apple fanboy, okay? I've got a Macintosh here, but I've got an Android phone and a PC and a Linux machine back there. But the one thing that we can't deny is their quality. Right? When they release a product, it is of high quality across the board, and so you can't take that away from them. Finally, Lockheed Martin, they are known for having very stringent safety and high quality practices for their aerospace department. So let's go do the flip side here of some poor quality events. Now I'm going to pick on Toyota a little bit, and when I pulled this, I was thinking, oh yeah, 2009, just a couple of years ago. That was 15 years ago now. Don't think about it too much, it will hurt. But if you remember this is when they were having the accelerator pedal issue. It was a quality overlook, cost them billions of dollars, and more unfortunately, human lives were lost. And so it was absolutely devastating to their brand. They have recovered over the years, but that's just one really extreme example of poor quality. The next, less problematic was, if you remember, this was about 5 or 6 years ago, the Galaxy Note 7. The batteries would just like randomly explode in people's pockets. In fact, when that happened, they also couldn't go on airplanes. They were completely blocked from getting on airplanes, which leads me to the third one. This is a very easy one to punch down at right now. I think we all agree on that, but that's the 737 MAX program. They just can't catch a break. Joking aside, with all the unfortunate plane crashes that happened, as well as the recent plug issue and just the myriad of just claims of poor quality, is really, really beating them down in the reputational area. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and talk about how Intellect can help you track, manage, and be proactive in your cost of quality. First thing we're going to do is we're going to be able to capture and have real-time metrics inside of this. So maybe you want to start off completely manually, maybe you want to pull in certain apps from the Intellect system, or you want to use APIs. All of those are available to track your cost of quality. Next, you can add to this. That's the great thing about our platform. It's a completely no-code drag and drop solution, so that what you see today is out of the box. Awesome. You want to add fields, you want to integrate other details and data, no problem at all. And what good is tracking something if you don't have good reporting? So I'm going to talk about our 3 layers of reporting and dashboards that are available to you as well. And then finally, like I alluded to a few moments ago, we can seamlessly integrate with the other Intellect out-of-the-box solutions. So if you wanted to pull in your audits and your calibration and maintenances and your NCRs, et cetera, we can make that happen. All right, let's go ahead and hop into our demo. So I have a lot of tabs open and I found it. So here's that. I'm going to work backwards. This is kind of our 3rd layer of reporting that we have out of the box for Intellect. This is our analytics connector, and I'm using actually Power BI here, but if you use Tableau, Click, any of the other business intelligence tools, we have a direct integration with them. So you can pull your data and manipulate it as you see fit. So on this simple dashboard, I have my cost of good quality, poor quality, looking at my total budget throughout the year. And then I see my breakdown of poor quality versus good quality. And like I said earlier, really should be more of 70% on good quality, 30% on poor quality. You can see in this totally made up example, this is way out of whack. It's almost 60% on poor quality. Not ideal. So we're obviously going to want to dive into why that is as part of our analysis. And then finally, we just have our total cost of quality and our threshold here, which is about $14,000 a year. And again, this made up scenario. So you're probably asking yourself, what if I don't have Power BI, Tableau, or I don't have a data scientist? Am I still going to be able to get this good data out of the box? Great news. The answer is yes. All right. Let me hop into the application. There we go. We have that built right into our Data IQ dashboards. So though I didn't build everything out here, you can see we have our cost of good quality right here, our poor quality, our budget, and our overall metric. So even if you don't have the BI tools, you can still get that really meaningful data right out of the box. So I've got my cost of quality dashboard broken out. And the really cool thing about Data IQ is you can have as many dashboards as you want. You can share them. That can be permission driven. So I've got my executive dashboard as well that has the holistic view of our quality program, from documents to audits and so much more. And I can also create my dedicated cost of quality dashboard for managing that. All right, so that's layer 2. Let's actually hop into our cost of quality app and take a look there. But before I do that, I do want to quickly highlight, as you can see here, I don't think this is all 30 apps, so this is about 20, 22 apps right here out of the box, ready for you to use, from document control to employee training, complaints, nonconformances, CAPA, and the list goes on. And the cool thing, like I'll say probably at least 2 more times, is we can integrate those into your cost of quality app. All right, so like I said, close this out. Let's make sure this is big enough. Perfect. This is the third layer, or maybe the first layer of data. Each of the applications have built-in dashboards, so you can already see this great information. You also have built-in reports. You also have built-in search capabilities, so you can run ad hoc reports, get Excels, etc. Really, really powerful tools here. But before we actually create our first cost of quality, I know you came here for a cost of quality demo. We're getting there, I promise. The first thing is setup. We really wanted to make setup as easy as possible for you. So we've already preloaded the system with the main categories of good and poor quality. Now you have full configurability of it. You can make the changes as you see fit, but we're going to have all of those categories pre-built out. So all you need to do is find the item. And in this example, we have calibration and measuring, or calibration and maintenance. We go in there and we update the information. So in this instance, I set myself as the individual that's going to run the calibration and maintenance here. I have my blended rate of $45 an hour. It's about 4 hours to do the work. So each time we run a calibration and maintenance activity, it costs the company about $180. Now, you can make this even more granular if you wanted to. Perhaps you had a more mature program and you want to track by machine or by department. We can add as many of these activities as you want, okay? And one other thing, I know we have it out of the box set up as person, so me as in Sean, but we also can set it up based on role, because roles typically don't change even if people do. So once you have everything built out, you've got your foundation and it's time to start tracking your cost of quality. So let's go in and generate our report. And in today's example, we're going to go ahead and close out 2023. I know it's mid-February. I know we're running a little behind, but hang on tight with me, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select our location. I'm going to keep picking on the LA office here. So we're going to run this for Los Angeles. We're going to close out 2023. So we're going to select December. Now, one of the nice little features here is we have the ability to check for cost of quality. So maybe I'm on a team, I got Susie and Steve also working with me. We want to make sure that they haven't already started one as well. So we'll do a quick check here. Great news. No existing template exists. So let's go ahead and report our new cost of quality. I had my cheat sheet. You got to see my cheat sheet. It's not what I wanted. Okay, great. Pretend you didn't see my cheat sheet. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and document our quality event. A lot of the folks that we talk to are still doing this on Excel or email or SharePoint, and they're pulling these all together. And great, they have it in an Excel spreadsheet, but what happens is then they have team members throughout the organization reaching out and saying, hey, give me that report, or where can I find that report? So having this in a single location and making it available and transparent for everybody is the real power here. So we have 3 ways that data can come into this. One, we can pull it in based on your other applications. Maybe you're using our NCR app or our audits app, complaints app, or our calibration and maintenance app, or one of the many other ones. We could use that to pull it in. The second option we can do is we can connect via open APIs. Maybe you're tracking this in your ERP. We can pull that in as well. And the third option is manually. And manually, you can either do it via an import. So maybe you have that spreadsheet ready to go. You can just import it like that. Or if you're like me, glutton for punishment, you can add it one at a time. So let's go ahead and do this. Now I'm going to look at my cheat sheet over here. There it is. And for December, here's what we did. We completed one quality plan for one of our departments. We've done 2 supplier evaluations, and unfortunately, we had 1 customer complaint for product X. So let's go ahead and add these things. Let's start off with customer complaint. So we had 1 for product X, and then we had 2 supplier evaluations. So let's go ahead and add those. Okay. And then finally, we had we did the quality planning. So we had 3 activities there for quality planning. And we know our budget is $1,200 a month in this fictional example. And again, this is something that can be pre-populated out of the box as well. So we'll go ahead and click save here and get a quick run of our cost of quality. So our cost of good quality is 1,196. Poor quality is 240. That puts us over our limit there. So we're at about 120%, but that is what it is. So we're going to go ahead and track that. And last thing we want to do is we want to add some comments here for future reference. So I've already got these written out, but in this example, we want to let them know that we've completed these quality activities as well as the supplier evaluations, and unfortunately, we've had 1 customer complaint, so that at any time we can come back and see exactly what happened at this event. So now I'll assign this to a reviewer, and to save us some cycles, I'm going to assign it to myself, and we are going to send it on to that review step. So now that I've completed this activity, the reviewer will receive a notification. They can click the link, and it'll actually bring them directly into the application, into that item itself. But instead of having us go out and come back in, I'll sneak us in the back door here, and we'll hop into the review step. All right, so as a reviewer, I just got this email, I'm checking it out. I see that we're at 120% of our budget. Not ideal, but let me go ahead and hop into comments and files. Okay, so this was good quality. I like that. Most of this was good quality. There was some poor quality here, not ideal. And because this is December, I can look back at the entire year and see where our quality events happened. So we can see that over time, there was, a lot of customer complaints and downtime activities, which is not ideal. So we're going to want to double click on those. In this event, though, we could also initiate an NCR or a CAPA if we wanted to understand more of what happened. And as we saw here in the details, we saw that customer complaints was quite a bit. And knowing that this has been for product X again and again, I actually would want to create an NCR to figure out what's going on here. Why do we keep getting the same complaints over and over again? All right. So let me go ahead, let's go ahead and approve it with our digital signature here so that we can close out this item. And now to wrap up our entire demo here, let me hop back into the data because that's really what we want to drive this. And let's go ahead and refresh our data. And this is going to pull in all the activities that we've just completed. There we go. Oh, it added a scroll bar. How unfortunate. That's all right. We'll survive. But when we look at this information, we can see that we've had several spikes and dips. The cool thing here is we can go and look back at each one of these. So if we wanted to go back to November or September or even May, we can hop back in our application, look at that, and have an entire log of what happened so that we can be more proactive in the future. So with that, I hope that this very we'll call it efficient, this very quick demo on our cost of quality application helped percolate some ideas on how Intellect can help you and your company. And of course, I really strongly recommend that we do a custom demo for you so you can see it in action. You can ask your questions as well, and then we can actually show you how beneficial it can be. So with that, I'm going to hand it back to Raquel to wrap up today's session.
All right, thank you, Sean. I know we have a few questions in the Q&A already. We're going to get to those in a minute. Now would be the time, if you do have questions, to go ahead and put them into the Q&A portion on your Zoom panel so we can address them in the time that we have. Before we jump into the Q&A, I do want to mention, for those of you who are not aware, we have a referral program. So if now's not the right time to look at a QMS, but you know of someone at another company who might benefit from Intellect, you can earn up to $5,000 if they become a customer of ours. You will get this slide deck, and you can see the link in the bottom right corner with the link to more information about the referral program and where you can enter in that information. So that's another option and on a way to partner with us. All right, and then, Sean just mentioned, and we had some conversation around this, if you would like a custom demo to show this and how it integrates with our other applications, to see our AI integration in action, you can use your phone and hold it up to the screen and link to a place to register for a custom demo, or you can just type in demo into the Q&A portion and we'll contact you after the session. All right, we're going to jump into some of our Q&A. First one is, we are an Intellect customer already. How can we get this application?
First, I find my unmute button. That's easy, right? So last quarter, we announced and launched our app library, and this is one of the apps that no matter which version of Intellect you have, you can take advantage of it. So if you're interested in that, reach out to us. We can, again, get you a demo and or set you up with the cost of quality module.
Right, perfect. And I know we had a little bit of conversation around this in the demo, Sean, but the question is, can we get data from our other Intellect apps to use in this application? And
yes, you can. So again, out of the box, it is what you saw today. But if you are using the other Intellect applications, we can use that to feed this information to save you even more time.
Okay. Next question is, what is the process of linking to Power BI?
Awesome. It's 3 steps. First off, you'll get the API key. Second thing you're going to, actually, it's really 2 steps. You get the API key, you plop that into Power BI, Tableau, Click, and then you grab the URL and some gibberish, and then the data. I know that's not very technical, but you essentially grab another string with the data set, and you paste that into your Power BI tool, and it looks just like that. So happy to show that as well.
Okay, perfect. Final question that I have, unless there are others that anyone wants to enter in now, is how can we share this data from the cost of quality application with our executive team?
Right on. Great question. So I think there's the 2 ways I'd recommend it is with Data IQ. So that's already integrated in the system. And the really cool thing is if you're not taking advantage of our mobile app, you can't see me. It's hiding, but this is my phone. There we go, sort of. It's built right in. And so that's the best way to do it is then they can log right into the Intellect app, go to the Data IQ and see those real-time dashboards. The other one is, again, using a BI tool like Power BI or Tableau, creating those reports. That would probably be my recommendation on how you share that data across the organization.
All right, perfect. Well, those are all the questions that we have. Again, if you have more questions for us, if you'd like a custom demo to see this and other applications in action, how they interact with one another, you can visit us at intellect.com or type in demo into the Q&A portion here. One last question before we leave. Is Intellect QMS compatible with Microsoft AX?
I should know what Microsoft AX is. The short answer is if it's has an open API, yeah, we can connect to it. I need to do some searching here on what a Microsoft AX is.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We'll see you at our next webinar.
Perfect.